Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be just reacting to here's my story, here's my story. I swapped lives with a billionaire daughter.
Hi, my name is Mimi. My dad used to be a construction worker. He passed away after an accident at work. At that time, my mom was a housewife. After my dad's passing, she had to find a way to make money. She started to clean people's houses. It was hard work, but it paid our rent and bills. Unfortunately, my mom started having problems with her eyes and lost 60% of her sight. It affected her work. People didn't want to hire her anymore. Soon we ran out of money. We couldn't pay our rent. To buy food, we had to start selling our furniture. Eventually, the thing we feared most happened and we got evicted. My mom and I started living on the streets. I learned that when you're desperate, you get used to anything. I used to feel shy asking my dad for pocket money. Now I had no problem coming up to strangers and asking, "Do you have any change? My mom and I haven't eaten since yesterday." We were actually hungry and needed every penny we could get. We slept in the park. My mom tried her best to keep my spirits up. She would say, "Honey, please don't let this get you down. Think of it as camping. Your dad is watching us from above. If you're sad, he'll be sad too. We're a family. Family, good days and bad days. These days will pass." One day, as I was panhandling, a luxury car stopped in front of me. The man in the back seat asked, "Do you have parents?" "I have a mom," I said. "Take me to her. I have an offer for both of you," he said, catching me by surprise. When I looked inside the car, I saw a girl about my age. She was crying. When the man saw the worried look on my face, he said, "Don't be scared. This is my daughter. You'll soon find out what this is all about." I took them to my mom. The man told us, "My name is Kevin McCarthy, and this is my spoiled daughter, Yasmin. I'm in the oil and gas business. I am a billionaire, but I haven't done a good job of raising my daughter. For her birthday, I gave her a plane. You know what she said? It's too small." He turned to my mom and said, "My daughter doesn't appreciate what she has. Let's have our daughter switch places for a week. Yasmin will live with you in the park, and meanwhile, your daughter will live in my house. In exchange, I will buy you a house." I knew my mom wouldn't like this idea. Before she could say anything, I said, "Mom, please say yes. I'll switch places with Yasmin for a week. This would be good for both of us." My mom said, "You would be living with strangers. I don't think it's a good idea." "Mom, please, it's only for a week and then we won't be homeless anymore. We can't miss this opportunity," I pleaded with her. My mom wasn't convinced, but she said yes because she didn't want to upset me. Yasmin could see that her father was serious. She got even more upset. "Dad, I cannot live here. These people stink. Do you think this is the life your daughter deserves? You were always scared of me being kidnapped for ransom. What if they kidnap me?" But her father wouldn't hear of it. He said, "You need this experience. I'm sure you'll finally learn a thing or two. Don't worry about getting kidnapped. The bodyguards will be watching you, but you won't see them. And you'd better start being nice to this lady because she's going to be your mom for a week." I was upset that Yasmin said we stank. I handed her the cup I was holding. "You'll need this when you're panhandling. Tell them you're hungry. That's the only thing that works. And you will actually be hungry. By the way, you better get used to our smell because starting tomorrow you will smell just like us," I said. Mr. McCarthy seemed to like what I said. He told Yasmin, "Being homeless will teach you a lot. Look, you've already learned something," and laughed. Then he turned to me. "Young lady, we can go whenever you're ready. You will be our daughter for a week. I'm sure you'll like it." I wasn't very comfortable with the idea of leaving my mom at the park, but I kept thinking about the fact that after a week, we wouldn't be homeless anymore. We drove for an hour before arriving at the mansion. It was in the middle of a large property. It was the biggest house I'd ever seen. There were two smaller buildings next to it. I would later find out that one of them was for the staff and the other for clothes. The family had so much clothing that they needed a whole building to...
I've never seen a mansion before, like in real life. Maybe, I don't know, I don't know exactly, but, you know, I have not, yeah, I mean, you know, I would want to see one, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing one, that'd be cool, but yeah.
Store it. A woman welcomed us at the entrance. This was Miss Samantha. who was in charge of managing the residence. Mr. McCarthy said, "Mimi will be our guest for a week. Treat her just like you would Yasmin." Miss Samantha took me to Yasmin's room. It was even more lavish than I'd imagined. As I looked around in awe, Miss Samantha asked, "Would you like to take a shower?" Of course I did. I spent so much time in the shower that Miss Samantha had to knock on my door and ask, "Is everything okay in there?" She had prepared pajamas for me. I put them on and went to bed. It'd been a while since I slept in a regular bed. However, I felt sad when I looked up and saw the ceiling instead of the stars. I'd gotten used to falling asleep looking at the sky. I wondered what my mom was doing. I was sure she was thinking about me at that moment. It was only the first night I was spending without her, and I was missing her already. Safe like didn't say anything. "Will I be meeting Yasmin's mother?" I asked. This sounded weird to me, but I didn't say anything. "Will I be meeting Yasmin's mother?" I asked. "Unfortunately, she's traveling for work at the moment. She's only home 3 days a month," she said. When I heard that, I felt sad for Yasmin. Seeing my mom only 3 days a month would never be enough for me. The next evening, Yasmin's dad took me out to dinner. When we walked in the restaurant, I couldn't believe my eyes. We were the only customers there. The entire staff was there just for us. This 5-star restaurant was closed to the public. When I asked why, Mr. McCarthy sighed. "You might think that being rich is amazing, but this life has its challenges. We can't just go out to dinner like normal people. We have to pay to reserve the whole restaurant, so we're the only people here. Firstly, it's for our safety. Wealthy people have a lot of enemies. But also it's because people constantly ask us for money. Charities, NGOs, entrepreneurs, you name it, everyone wants to get money from us. So if there were other people here, we wouldn't be able to have dinner in peace." After that evening, I never saw Yasmin's dad at home again. He had to travel for work all the time as well. When I first met Yasmin, I thought she was a spoiled brat, but when I realized what her life was actually like, I started to feel sorry for her. Money obviously makes life easier, but if you value family life like me, being a billionaire is not something to envy. Days went by.
I mean, yeah, like, money, like, happiness money can't buy happiness, is like, that's where that phrase comes in. Yeah.
Very slowly. I missed my mom so much. Finally, the week was up. I was so excited when I woke up. Miss Samantha came in and said, "Yasmin's mother came home last night. She will take you to your mother." Yasmin's mother and I got in the car. She said to me, "Thanks so much for helping us out." Yasmin needed this experience. I'm sure she learned what a gift it is to be wealthy after seeing what it's like to be homeless. I bet she'll start crying the second she sees me and say, "Mom, get me out of here." We got to the park and got out of the car. We started walking. We saw my mom and Yasmin having breakfast on the grass. They were chatting and laughing. When my mom saw me, she got up and embraced me. We hugged for a long time. She smelled awful, but I missed that stink. Yasmin also gave me a hug and said, "The week just flew by. Mimi, you are so lucky. You have an amazing mom." She also stank like a homeless person now. Yasmin's mother told my mom, "Thank you for looking out for my daughter." But she seemed to be disappointed. She had expected Yasmin to be desperate, but in fact, she looked really happy. She said, "Honey, aren't you happy to see me? I missed you so much." When Yasmin didn't respond, she laughed and said, "Well, maybe you haven't missed me, but I'm sure you've missed your old life." Yasmin got upset. "Mom, I don't think you missed me. When was the last time you, Dad, and I had dinner together? I can't even remember. I don't think the 3 of us have sat at the same table in years. I haven't missed my normal life at all. I had the best meals of my life in this park. I hadn't slept this well in a long time. You know what I realized out here? The only thing a person my age needs is parents who are paying attention to them." Now Yasmin's mother was mad. "How can you be so ungrateful? Your father and I give you everything. You got a plane for your birthday. What else can we do for you?" she screamed. Yasmin started crying. "Mom, you're only giving me those gifts out of guilt. I got used to equating your gifts with love. I kept asking for more expensive gifts to be able to convince myself that you loved me, but now I understand what I really need is a mother who is always with me, just like Mimi's mom." Yasmin's mother stopped. She looked at her daughter's face. She knew what she was talking about. She started crying. She embraced Yasmin. "You're right, honey. You're right. I'm such an idiot for not seeing that sooner. Please forgive me," she said. They hugged each other and cried for a while. Mr. McCarthy bought us a house, just like he promised he would. He even gave my mom a job in one of his companies. Our money troubles are over. My mom could finally afford a visit to the ophthalmologist. After 2 surgeries, she regained her eyesight. Now she can see as well as she used to. Yasmin and I became friends. She comes to visit a few times a week. Sometimes her mom comes with her. She took another job at the company. She doesn't travel anymore. She is now able to spend more time with her daughter. Yasmin's dad seems to have understood his mistake as well. Even if he needs to travel for work, he comes home whenever he can, and they have long family dinners together. They invited us to their house for Thanksgiving. They all looked very happy. Yasmin's dad thanked us by saying, "People measure wealth with money, but real wealth is about the things in life that you cannot buy with money. In that way, you were actually very poor. Thanks for helping us figure it out." And this made us very happy.
I mean, yeah, no, that's so true, honestly, though. We're watching another one. Let's watch another one, I guess. Yeah.
Until recently, I thought I was one of the luckiest kids alive. My parents were gentle, affectionate, and caring. We had unlimited financial resources, and I was taking full advantage of them. For example, I took tennis lessons from a world champion. We lived in a crowded city with congested traffic, so my brother and I took a helicopter to school. We lived in a fabulous mansion. We used to fly abroad with my dad's private plane every chance we got. In short, it felt as if everything around me was designed to make me happy. And I was very happy. Until the weekend, I went to stay at our mountain chalet with my cousin. I love my cousin Stella. She's 4 years older than me, so she's like an older sister to me. I always ask her opinion whenever I need to make an important decision. One day, Stella called me up. "Do you have any plans for the weekend? Our chalet is available. We could have a nice girls' weekend," she said. I gladly accepted her offer. When we arrived at the chalet, we immediately lit the fireplace. We made ourselves some hot chocolate and settled in front of the fire. Out of nowhere, my cousin said, "Hazel, I invited you here to talk about something important, but I'm so scared. You're either going to thank me or hate me for this." Needless to say, I was very surprised. "You know I will never hate you. Please tell me before I start freaking out," I replied. Stella took a deep breath. "Last month I went on a road trip with my parents. They thought I was sleeping in the back seat, so they started talking about you. My mom said they still haven't told Hazel, but it's her right to know. First, I didn't understand what they were talking about, but as they went on, I learned something incredible about you." I held my breath. "What is it?" I asked. Stella was having trouble speaking. "Hazel, you're adopted. Your family is hiding it from you. I think you have a right to know. That's why I wanted to tell you," she said. That day was a turning point for me. My parents had been keeping an incredible secret from me. I wasn't their biological child. I don't want to be ungrateful. They never made me feel like I was adopted, but...
Yeah, I'm not adopted, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... From what I know, I am not adopted.
I still got mad at them for hiding this from me. I thought they had been deceiving me. I called them out on it as soon as I got home. When I said, "I know I'm adopted," both of them were shocked. My mom denied it by saying, "Where is this coming from? It's not true." "Mom, I don't care if I was adopted. I know you love me very much. I'm upset that you've been keeping this from me." My dad turned to my mom. "Love, we shouldn't hold on to this any longer. It's already too late. Hazel should have heard this from us," he said. My mom started crying. "It doesn't matter to us that you're adopted. You're our one and only daughter," she said, embracing me. I asked them the first question that came to me. "Is my brother adopted too?" My mom shook her head, saying, "No." I had a million questions running through my head. Why did you adopt me? When did you adopt me? Where did you adopt me from? For some reason, my mom was being vague in her answers. She was avoiding my questions. I asked the most pressing question I had. "Do you know who my biological family is? Can I meet them?" My mom got really mad. "Of course not. I'm the one who raised you. Why are you curious about them? We don't know who they are anyway," she yelled. Just as I was about to say something, my mom said, "Hazel, you know as much as you need to know. Don't ask any more questions. This conversation is over." In the days that followed, my mom kept the same attitude about this issue. She got upset whenever I brought it up. Normally she's a calm person. I was shocked to see her overreact every time. Apparently there was a reason why she was acting like this, and it would take me months to find out that there was an even bigger secret behind it. When I realized asking my mom was no use, I decided to reach out to my dad. Normally a mother doesn't give up her baby. I want to know about my biological mother's story, or I'll keep wondering about it all my life, I said. My dad said, "Honey, I understand, but we never met your biological parents. In the first years of our marriage, your mother really wanted to have a baby, but we couldn't conceive. Finally, we decided to adopt. We got you from a children's home. It's been a long time, but we can go there tomorrow and try to find out." The next day, we went to the children's home without telling my mom. When we walked into the director's room, my dad was happy to realize it was the same director from all those years ago. "Do you remember me? We adopted our daughter Hazel from you. Now we're looking for her biological family. Could you look at your records and help us?" he pleaded. For some reason, the director got really upset when he heard this. "Oh, we never divulged the identity of the parents. I'm going to have to ask you to leave now," he said, showing us the door. My dad was shocked. "I don't know why you're being rude to us. I made a hefty donation to this home when we adopted Hazel. You could at least help us in return," he insisted. The director wouldn't budge. "Please stop. It's impossible for me to help you," he said. So we had to leave. My dad is a civil engineer who built most of the government buildings in our city. That's why he knows a lot of the city officials really well. He called the mayor and told him about this. "Could you help me get my daughter's file from the children's home?" he asked. The mayor complied. "I'm going to go and take this file personally and bring it to you tomorrow," he promised. I was so happy to hear that. I was sure that very file contained all the information I needed to find out about my biological family. The next day when I came home from school, I walked into my dad's study. I asked, "Dad, did you get my file? Does it contain any information on my biological family?" My dad avoided eye contact with me and said, "The mayor called me. There's no information about you at the home. I think we should let this go." There was something off with my dad's demeanor. "Dad, it was only yesterday that you told me I had a right to know. Why are you saying this now?" I asked. My dad said, "Honey, please let this go. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to help you." My dad is not someone who changes his mind like that. Once he makes a promise, he keeps it. Previously, my mom and the director of the home were the ones who reacted unexpectedly. But now my dad? Why? Why was everyone so on edge about my search for my biological family? I couldn't come up with any answers no matter how hard I thought about it. That evening, after everyone was asleep, I went into my dad's study. I started looking in his drawers with the help of a flashlight. Finally, I found what I was looking for in the bottom drawer. I found an envelope with my name on it. I tore open the envelope. However, I was disappointed to find it empty. I think the envelope contained my file from the children's home, but for some reason my dad had chosen to lie to me rather than show me the file. Just when I thought I was the luckiest person alive, my life turned upside down. This was all I could think about. I was constantly doing Google searches in hopes of finding a clue. My grades went down because I wasn't able to concentrate in class. I used to be a happy person. Now I sulked all the time. I was obsessed with finding my birth mother. I wasn't going to stop until I found her. My parents were aware of what I was going through. When my dad said he was really concerned about me and that I had to snap out of it, I had to tell him. "Dad, I went into your study one night and went through your drawers. I found an envelope with my name on it. I was sure my adoption file was in that envelope, but you hid it from me. I need to know why you lied to me." My mom turned to my dad when she heard this. "What file? Did you get Hazel's file from the home?" she asked. My dad nodded. My mom looked really confused. "So, you know everything," she said. My dad replied, "Yes, I do. And I'm not mad at you at all. Whatever happened in the past stays in the past. You did the right thing." I couldn't understand what they were talking about, but this probably had to do with me. "What are you talking about? Are you going to clue me in as well?" I screamed in anger. My mom said, "You're right, honey. This is going to come as a second shock to you, but I have to be honest with both of you." Then she started telling her story. I got pregnant in college. I couldn't tell my family about it. I was staying at the dorm. I decided to have the baby even though I was broke. In the final month of my pregnancy, the father of my baby died in a car accident. I was all alone. I gave birth. My child was all I had to live for. Then I met a wonderful man and fell in love with him at first sight. My mom paused here. I knew she was talking about my dad. He was looking at her with a smile on his face. She kept talking while looking into his eyes. "I was was so lucky that he fell in love with me. He was young and handsome and wealthy, too. But I couldn't tell him I had a baby. I was scared that he might leave me if he found out I was a single mom. That's why I had to make a plan. I left my baby at the home. The director of the home was a very kind person. I told him everything. Please don't give my baby to anyone else. I will come back for her, I said. And 2 years later, I did come back and picked up my daughter, Hazel, back from the home. I was shocked. She started crying. Honey, do you understand? I'm your biological mom. But I had to adopt you because I couldn't tell this to your father. Your father thought you were adopted for years until my dad jumped in. Until the mayor brought me Hazel's file from the children's home. When I read the file, I learned that you were Hazel's biological mom and was very surprised, but I also understood. I was too young back then. If you told me you had a baby, I could have acted irrationally. Your plan was amazing. Thanks to you, I have a wonderful wife like you and a wonderful daughter like Hazel. I love you both so much. I love our family. My brother walked into the room. He saw us hugging each other and joined in, even though he didn't know what was going on. We stayed like that for a while. It took me some time to process the things I had learned. If you think about it, I could be the only kid on the planet who was adopted by her own mom. My mom found the perfect solution. She was able to both keep me and the man she loved. There's only one downside to this story. I found out that my dad wasn't my biological father. At the same time, he already knew he wasn't my biological father from the start. But he never made me feel otherwise. And this made me love him even more.
Yeah. It was kind of obvious that they weren't biological. That was Premiere Pro. Sorry, it was just, there we go. It was kind of obvious that they weren't biological. I mean, like, the dad's hair was black. The girl's hair was, sort of this kind of color, but more brown. Yeah. Basically brown. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, that's, yeah, that. Anyway, thanks for watching, comment, like, and subscribe.